Hello, and welcome to the second in a series of shows about the martial arts and what the martial arts can do for you and your family. It's being brought to you by Universal Kempo Karate Schools Association. My name is Garland Johnson. I'm one of the chief instructors of Universal Kempo Karate. I'm going to be the host for this show as well. Now, our purpose is to educate, motivate, and stimulate. Today we're going to show you the many benefits of the martial arts and what it can do for you and your family. But first we need to update the Kempo history. Part of the purpose of these programs are to showcase the 12 locations of Universal Kempo Karate that blanket the city of Colorado Springs. Now, the purpose of this program is to showcase the Central Branch. Now, the Central Branch is a beautiful and spacious location located up here on North Montebello and North Academy. You know, I remember about 13 years ago when I left Hawaii and came back home here to Colorado Springs and we opened our first school. I was actually teaching in my backyard. Well, we've come a long way since those days. I remember when we first opened the Central Branch, we had about 3,700 square feet. Now, due to the support and help of the Colorado Springs families, we've outgrown that location. So as of July of '93, we're now in the new Central Branch, which is over 9,000 square feet. And here it is. 7,000 of this is actual training area. Now, what that does is that allows us to run 8 decks or classes simultaneously. That allows us to maintain our 6-to-1 student-teacher ratio, ideally, and no more than 10-to-1 student-teacher ratio in the larger classes. This allows us to provide more individual attention to each and every student. It provides a vehicle for the Universal Kempo Karate instructors to allow them to maintain and improve the high quality and the high standards of teaching that Universal Kempo Karate is known for throughout the world. But more on that later. Right now, let's take you on a tour of this Central Branch. Come with me. Hiya. Let's start the tour right over here, okay? Now, if you watched our previous programs, you'll know that the first gentleman that we point out here is Professor Martin T. Buell. Now, he's the founder and professor of Universal Kempo Karate Schools Association. Now, he lives out in Aiea, Hawaii. Now, under him comes Jonathan Vance and also Gregory Nakano. Now, both those guys are Master Chief Instructors. Then you got Stan Pappas and myself. Now, those 4 individuals, they still live out in Hawaii. And then Mrs. Johnson, who is my wife, and myself are the one who runs this facility here. Now, these awards are some of the awards that Mrs. Johnson and myself have gotten over the years for being good instructors. Come on down over this way. This is the main entrance here in our reception area. We have the United States flag along with the Universal insignia. Come on down, I'll take you into the training area. With having a facility as large as the Central Branch, we have like 21-foot ceilings. And with having these kind of ceilings, this allows us to build a second deck or a second floor inside the building. So what we've chosen to do is provide that as a parent viewing area. This is an area for the parents to watch and get a bird's eye view of what's going on inside the class with their children. We've also put a parent quiet room up there so they can get some work done. And we've got coffee and donuts and a TV up there as well. The next thing that we have here is we have what's referred to as our Chinese splits club. Now then, if you can ever do the full Chinese splits, which are these things right here, I take a picture of you. Matter of fact, I take 2 pictures right over there in front of the logo. Now the first picture you get to take home, and the other picture I keep here at the school and it goes up here on the wall. I also give you a certificate with your name on it because this is an accomplishment that few in the martial arts are able to achieve. Now, these are the students at the Central Branch thus far that have reached the full Chinese splits. Now, as you can tell, Mrs. Johnson's up there, and so is Nancy Galvin, and Ryan Maddox, and our first one was Brian Gray. Now, as you look real close, my picture's not up there yet. And the key word there is yet, because I believe that in time, through perseverance and practice, I too should be able to do the full Chinese splits. It takes me about 2 hours, and that last half inch is really rough. So I have great admiration and respect for these people's ability. And I truly think that I'll be able to do this someday. And this is a major accomplishment and one that I think that all these folks should deserve special recognition for. Come on down this way. As you can tell, this is a map of the city of Colorado Springs. Now, we started our first branch of Universal Kempo Karate up here at the Air Force Academy Youth Center. Now, I started that back on September 17, 1980. Now we've grown from that one location at the academy, which is still in operation today, to all the locations we have in the city. And you're right here at the central branch is where you're at right now. Now what I'd like you to do is take you on what's called Instructor's Row and highlight some of the different instructors we have inside of Universal Kempo Karate. Let's start out right up here again. This is Professor Martin T. Buell, as you know, and these are some of the instructors inside of the Universal Kempo Karate schools. Now as we head on over here, this gentleman right here, his name is Jesse Menegdeg. Now Jesse Menegdeg is a chief instructor with Universal Kempo Karate, and his school is located over there on Austin Bluffs and Barnes, right next door to Skate City. That's his karate school. Very talented individual. These are some of the students at the central branch here. Now then, that's Bridget right up there. Okay, and as we come on down here, that's our little boy. His name is Andre. He's going to be 3 years old this December. And I tell you, he's our first child, and he's quite an instructor himself. Believe me, we learn something new every day, Bridget and I do. This gentleman, or I'm sorry, this lady right up here, her name is Bridget Johnson. This is, she's a 4th degree a chief instructor here at the Central Branch, and you'll be seeing her a little bit later. And she's also my wife. Now, right up here, this is Nancy Galvin. Nancy is a 3rd degree senior head instructor, and she's the instructor over at the West Side Branch, which is on Highway 24 and 8th Street, which is right over there in the Burger King Shopping Center. And she's also a teacher over at Palmer High School as well. He started with us on June 2nd, 1982, out at the Peterson Air Force Base Youth Center there, when we started that branch. His name is Robert DeYoung, and now he's the instructor at that location. He's actually a student of Jesse Menegdeg's, and he is the head instructor of the Peterson Air Force Base branch, which is on at the R.P. Lee Youth Center there. This next gentleman here, his name is Stuart Levitt. Now Stuart is a head instructor out at the West Side Branch, which is again on Highway 24 and also 8th Street. This next gentleman is Al DiPantino. Al DiPantino is our head instructor of the Rustic Hills North Branch. Now Rustic Hills North, their facility is located right off of Constitution and Academy. It's right next to Vogue Beauty College and a little bit north of Cousins Furniture and Cowboys. Now the next gentleman here, his name is John Sedaris. Now John Sedaris is going after his professorship in psychology out in Austin, Texas, and he runs our facility down there in Texas. Well, you know, we have Universal Kempo Karate schools all over the world, and Instructor John is one of my students. Now as we look on, we have another one. It's Instructor John Roberts, and he's another head instructor at the West Side Branch, which is again over there on Highway 24 and 8th Street. These are some more of the different students and teachers of Universal Kempo Karate here at the Central Branch. This gentleman right here, his name is David Franklin, and that's his little boy Andy. Now the thing that's common about Andy and all of these black belts and all the black belts that are with Universal is they started out just like Andy, with no belt at all and made it to their white belt. Then through many years of training with me, they were able to obtain the black belt, and now they have karate schools of their own. And that's my charter, is to teach these students so that someday they become better than me, to teach all my students that. And once they pass me by and become better than I am, then I've accomplished one of my goals in the martial arts. He teaches at the Rock Rimmon branch, which is there on Rock Rimmon and Delmonico, right next to PDQ. Now next to him, the next gentleman we have is Walter Benazzi. Now Walter Benazzi is our head instructor of the facility up on Monument and Palmer Lake. Excellent location up there. This gentleman right here, his name is Joe Gardino, and he's our head instructor at the facility on Fillmore and Arcadia. Their location is located in the same shopping center as the Pizza Hut and also the Radio Shack. Beautiful location down there. Now next to him, or the next gentleman that we have, his name is Matthew Shepard. Now Matt Shepard is our head instructor of the Air Force Academy branch now. He's a very tall gentleman. He's like 6'4" or something like that. Very talented individual. This young man right here, his name is Jamie Greenway. Now Jamie Greenway started with me when he was 9 years old. Now he's 19. He's actually one of our instructors here at the Central Branch. Very talented individual. You'll see him a little bit later on the program as well. Now our belief is that if I can make it from white belt to black belt, or if Instructor Johnson can do it, you can too. Lord knows that I was a slow learner and still am in certain areas. And that's the beauty of Universal Kempo Karate, is it teaches you tenaciousness, and it teaches you stick-to-itiveness, and it teaches you to never give up. And the longer you stick with it, the better you're going to get. So if I can make it, you can too. That's our belief.